Hello everyone, this is Mayago again. Since posting the initial Backcap bait video, there's been some good discussion and some good feedback. I wanted to pull some of that together here to provide a single place to see some of the responses. And then one of the topics that came up was a little bit more nuanced, so I wanted to put together a more coherent response that you can see in one place. Three pieces of feedback or topics that have come up that I think were particularly constructive and interesting were these three that we see right here. There's the perspective that if we're talking about trying to get lots of map control as fast as we can in the right places, that even on that there are large maps in which it is very difficult to achieve that. So even if you put 30 or 40 infantry out on the map, you might not be able to get the map control in every place that the points could potentially go to. I 100% agree with this. This is just kind of what makes RAAS RAAS. There are times that you do have to either try to find other ways to make inferences to reduce down the future possibilities of where the points could go, or you might just have to choose where you're going to concentrate or you're going to choose to spread your forces. This is just a choice. There are trade-offs that you have to make. The second one is that there are maps where one side has a significant advantage in terms of the information. They know where the lanes are going to be sooner. And in these cases, it makes more sense to have more than 3 to 5 people in Backcap. Again, I 100% agree. There is no hard rules in this game. And my prior topic was really just trying to highlight that kind of the efficient regime is somewhere kind of in that 3 to 5 person Backcap. And there are times where you will want to send a few more people. The challenge that I have is when people start to talk about putting 27 people on a point. So people are thinking about these situations where one side has a big advantage and the other side has to catch up, so to speak, in terms of information, and the only way to catch up is put 27 people on a point to reveal those points faster so you can confirm the lane. So let's unpack that one a little bit more. And we're going to use Gorodok RAAS v2 as our example. It was the example brought up by one of the commenters, and I think it's a good one because there's a couple of recent good examples of how how good teams that have put in the effort to work on the problem have solved it. Okay, quick familiarization. Gorodok RAAS v2. You have Team 1 in the north and you have Team 2 in the south. There are 3 lanes. There is lane A that is going to go generally up towards the north and the east. You have a middle lane that comes kind of through your typical Neva, and then you have your chart your C lane, your southwest lane. And what's really big about this particular layer is that Team 1 generally has a very large advantage. If Team 1, they will always see, both teams see their first point that's revealed to them. If Team 1 sees Hill 57, they immediately know that this is a south lane, and there are very few points that they need to cover. So you can very clearly see that if Team 1 gets Hill 57, they know exactly where they need to be on the map. In contrast, Team 2, if they get Industrial as their first point or Gas Station as their first point, they get no additional information. They do not know where they need to go. If it is kind of the south lane here, they have a chance of confirming it here if they reveal the second point. So that means they complete the first cap and they reveal the second point. If it's Pavlov's, they confirm it. If it's fortified, they still cannot confirm it. There is still ambiguity between a middle lane and a north lane. So in this case, Team 2 cannot confirm which lane it is until they complete the second point and reveal the third point. So if they reveal river, they know. If they reveal train, they know it's mid. If they reveal one of the ones down here in Saloniki, they also confirm that it is a south lane. So it is the revealing of the third point or completing that second point to be able to confirm the lane. So we're going to summarize all of that information here, and we're not adding any additional information into this matrix other than what does the teams know as different points are revealed. So again, the teams don't necessarily know what lane they're in, so they only get the information that is available to them when they have a point revealed. So the first point is revealed in staging, and you'll see here that Team 1 has a chance of knowing something significant in staging, whereas Team 2 never knows anything in staging. As you look towards some of these other places, the worst case here, the worst information asymmetry is in lane C. When that rolls, Team 1 will know what it is, and Team 2 potentially can figure out lane C upon their second point reveal, but they cannot 100% confirm in every possible case if it's going to be that lane until the third point. Similarly, in lane B, they might not be able to confirm lane B until the third point. So this is this layer, Gorodok RAAS v2, is one of the ones that is a very good example of that information disadvantage and asymmetry. However, there's a couple of things that we can notice about this. Is Team 1 does have different information, and that means Team 1 will probably have some very different behavior when it is lane C. So let's think about other ways that we might be able to, as Team 2, confirm lanes. What are our opportunities to get information? And to do that, we're going to look at what a couple of other teams did in the past fairly recently. One disclaimer is that I have an association with both teams that are going to be looked at in this example. The first example includes the Rat Brigade, and at the time of this match I was a team member. The second example includes the Tactical Trigonometry community team, and I do frequently play for that community team. So, case study number 1. This is from recent Eye in the Sky tournament. Here you see the North team, Team 1, is gotten a south lane. They have confirmed it during staging because they saw that it was hill 57 down here. So their entire rollout is modified with that information, and you see this heavy convoy of all of their vehicles, with the exception of one kind of going off into the back line, who's going to be coming down that road. So here you see it. All of their vehicles are going to be coming down this road. This is about 55 at the 55-minute marker in game. We'll let this go out. You see they're starting their Backcap, and the other team is Team 2 on the south is just still getting to their first point. All right. So, Team 1 knows the lane. They are going heavy into that area. This is an observable behavior. If the lane was not a south lane, Team 1, the north team, probably would be going mid or would be going off to the east or probably spreading in their area. But notably, they would be heading in this general direction towards the east as opposed to going heavy into the south. So let's take a look at what another team did to try and take advantage of that fact to get additional information they did not have otherwise. So the second example here is you see that this lane is the east-northeast lane. So this is not the south lane. You see that Team 1, in this case, is starting to go heavy to the east, and there's not a heavy presence pushing down into that south lane. Team 2 is using a heli, and they are going to push their heli into the east in order to look to see how is the north team responding. Because if that heli sees a large convoy of vehicles, if they see a heavy push into the south, we can learn that Team 1 is going heavy south. The only reason Team 1 would go heavy south is because if it was a south lane. So this is an example of using alternate methods to get information about the lanes by playing the game. Right here, you see that the heli is seeing maybe one vehicle. If it was a heavy south lane, this heli would be spotting, 5, 10 different vehicles off in this area. So this is exactly the type of thing of looking for other ways to get information by getting out onto the map. So, in summary, this is what we saw. Team 1 in the north, when they got that south lane, they went heavy south on the rollout. In this other case, Team 1 in the north went heavy east. They did not go heavy south. This team over here had a very good rollout plan. They are putting more people than just the efficient 3 to 5 here on the Backcap. Most of these other vehicles will continue through into the area, but they have more than 3 on the Backcap, and they're taking advantage of their heli to come over here and look for that south rollout. That is a piece of information that helps them narrow down the options of where the lanes can go faster than just revealing the caps. This is a little bit of math. I'm going to summarize this here in a second, but if you want to, you can pause the screen and look at it. But here's the summary. Let's pay attention to that south lane example because this is the most disadvantaged for Team 2. If Team 2 tries to push for a 27-person Backcap at about 154 into the game, there is a 50% chance they can confirm the lane if it is lane C, because that is when they are revealing the second point. And if that second point reveal happens to be the right one and it happens to be lane C, they can confirm that. Otherwise, they have to wait until they reveal the third point. So that means they have completed the second point cap, and that's going to happen around 52:30. An alternative way to do it is take advantage of that heli scout. That heli scout is going to be finishing up around 154 in game. Here you see the heli is already in position, potentially seeing the vehicles at 154.43. Here you see it's 44, so this is about the same time. So we're going to be really conservative here and say the heli has to fly for another 40 seconds before it can really confirm or deny that heavy south rollout. So they can start to lock in that information around 154, and that'll confirm if it's lane C. If you don't see those enemy VICs there, you don't know if it's lane A or B, but you know it's not C. If I'm only putting a 9-person Backcap, I am going to reveal that it is lane C or not lane C, because my heli will have done that initial recon. I will know the lane C information depending on what point is revealed. The second point reveal will always tell me if it is lane A or if it's lane B or C. So by sending in that heli, I can disambiguate what's left over, and I can always confirm the lane by 153.30. So, bottom line here is that 27-person Backcap is actually slower than a 9-person Backcap if you're supplementing it with correct information, and I've now got another 14 infantry that I can go do something else useful on the map. So here, this is the same data as before, as showing you the time difference between capping with a single person and capping with more people. And I'll just kind of point out that yes, the 3 to 5 is the most efficient regime, but you're still kind of on that same slope of the curve as far as buying time with up to 9 people, but the slope of this part of the curve and the slope of this part of the curve are fundamentally different. So be very, very cautious of exploring this part of the curve. There are instances, and I just showed you one, where it makes sense to backcap with 9. Backcapping with more than that did not make sense. Thanks for all the feedback, and look forward to seeing you on the server.